you've told voters that concerns about possible connections to the Schuiling Ranch developers have no merit, that you have no personal connection. But I've been sent a screenshot of an online meeting for your campaign from several sources, which included you, one of the Schuiling Ranch developers, and other supporters of Schuiling Ranch. Can you explain this conflicting information?
Yeah, I met with a lot of people leading up to deciding to run for county commissioner as well as after county commissioner. I met with a lot of people, including Schuiling Ranch. I met with Schuiling Ranch to talk about water and what they were doing with the community. I also met with a lot of people, like I said, also about water as well before. I think it's important as county commissioner, as a candidate, that you do your homework and meet with as many people as you possibly can, so I can make the best judgments when I get elected as county commissioner. I think that's important. That said, I think John, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that was Schuiling Ranch as well. So he's done his due diligence, I'm doing my due diligence, so I don't see why that's a bad thing.
Being part of the board of commissioners where the 3 or 5, Jake, you made this point.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, John.
Oh, yeah, but the Schuiling Ranch.
So I don't have any connection to Schuiling Ranch. Again, I think to me, reading all the posts and stuff, I know they're very important developer within Douglas County. Being here 43 years, being in the surveying business, we did large-scale infrastructure projects. We really do single-family residential. My background, to me, I'm always about who do I need to talk to, who's doing work in this county. So for me, through people that I work with within the town department, developers within the town department, who do I need to talk to? And they said Schuiling Ranch is one of those people, and they go, you should really sit down with them. So I sat down with Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and brought, and I just listened. Quite honestly, it was just something that I needed to do to understand what their concerns were and how they were coming about their development. And we did that. I left, and I think as long as everyone other than that, I had no connections or conversations.
Jake, I want to start with you on this one because you're pointing out the disproportionate representation between the rural and urban aspects of Douglas County and your concerns about that for those 3 to 5 commissioners. Whether the number is 3 or 5, conflict resolution is a big part of that. If you could provide an example of conflict that you've taken head on and solved, what you did to solve that conflict, why it was important.
Current example in my private sector?
Conflict? Yeah, I do that every day in my job. So I'm a commercial operations manager. I'm the conduit between our internal departments, production, engineering, quality, and sales, and our customers. So when a customer doesn't get a product or doesn't get delivered when they expect it, we need to take care of that. I could go on for days of examples of that. And I understand the premise of what you're getting at with that question. Conflict as commissioner with the commissioners on the board, I'm guessing. Is that right?
Right.
I'll say this, I will always respect, as county commissioner, my colleagues, and I'll always respect the board, but that doesn't mean I always agree with them. I'm running for county commissioner because I want to be the voice of the people I serve in Douglas County, and I will do what's best interest of their interest. That's the point. I will listen to constituents, and I will voice those concerns, those opinions on behalf of those people with board members, and make my case, and I will make decisions from there as county commissioner.
John, same question for you. An example of a conflict you've been able to resolve, how you went about doing that, why it was important to you, and then Jake, and how that translates to conflicts that might arise on the board itself.
Yeah, conflict. I used to conflict, but we at the region level, we Douglas County, we're getting a disproportionate share of federal transportation funding. It seemed like a member board of the board that had momentum to heavily influence when federal funding came to this entity called Connell. We needed to figure out a better way to win it to be fair for all concerned. So to me, it was all about building relationships. It was all about trying to understand what all 49 members on that board was interested in, and potentially what the challenges were. So and again, the dynamic of Colorado obviously has changed. We here in Douglas County are not the majority market. So It was about trying to figure out what things could potentially we have in common so we could build a consensus. And through many months of talking to people on that board, we gained consensus. We reallocated the funding to something called a dual model instead of it being competitive. We now have an allocated share coming to Douglas County so we can plan that transportation fund. So I think that was incredible. And in terms of discourse at the county commissioner level, I've worked with Commissioner Teal at a regional level before. I believe I can still work with him. Commissioner Van Winkle, I've not had the ability to truly sit down and understand, but I've been put in situations that I needed to figure out how to work with people that wanted to work with me and I'm successful. So I think being a board county, being a county commissioner, was kind of the I think as long as we have the best interest of the citizens at heart, we'll be good.
We are going to ask one more question, and then we're going to allow candidates to ask questions of each other, one question of each other. And then we've been sprinkling in the audience questions because so many of your questions have been in our questions as well. But if you have any additional questions, now's the time to get those cards up. If you've not heard something that you want us to ask about, please do now. Right now, though, I have a question, John. I'm going to start with you. What specific steps, and you mentioned the fact that Douglas County is changing demographically, and it's all of Colorado has changed in terms of political demographics. Douglas County is not immune to that as well. So what specific steps will you take to ensure transparency and build trust with everyone in Douglas County?
Quite honestly, it's within the town department, it just seems second nature to me. Having the ability to access council members, having our meetings online. I remember back in the archaic days when Facebook was just kind of starting up in Facebook Street, people were coming in and were trying to figure out how to stream it because they thought that there was an issue. And we said, we'll take care of that. We'll stream it. To me, it's about accessibility. It's about making sure that citizens are aware and engaged as much as I can possibly make that happen. To me, I want to be available for everyone. That is what I do. That's our job as elected officials, is to serve you, the citizen. And to me, it goes back to feedback. I need all the feedback I can get. To me, you don't have to agree with me, but I need, if we can have a conversation.
Same question for you, Jay. What specific steps will you take to ensure transparency and build trust with all of the citizens of Douglas County?
Yeah, as county commissioner, that's why we're here. We want to make sure that the voices of the people are being heard. I'll be as transparent as I possibly can, obviously, being available for everyone to reach out to me. And obviously, I mentioned earlier, I would like to change how the public comments, how they're doing that, modifies a little bit. As a commissioner, I would look forward to working with the other commissioners to changing that as commissioner. And I think overall, just having the voice of the people, and I'll go back to before assembly. I went through assembly, I did not petition on. I respect the caucus process. And I think that's important because the voice of the people, that's where you decide in the neighborhoods who's going to be your delegate, who then decides who your candidate's going to be. I spent the last 3+ months, ever since I announced in November, meeting with everyone I possibly could, neighborhoods, district captains, delegates once we got the delegate list, because that's important, because the process is important, and we're serving the people, not the other way around.
Jake, starting with you on this one. All right. Yes, let's have the two. So let's have Jake ask the first question.
So I'll premise it a little bit. As I mentioned, I moved to Parker after my wife and I got married in 2013. I grew up loving Parker because of the small town feel. It still had that small town character to it, right? Over the years, over the last 5 to 10 years, that has since changed. Parker no longer was the same now from when I first moved. My question for you, John, your time serving as Parker Town Council, we've seen a lot of the high-density housing, just seasonal apartments being built up, not only in Parker, but other areas in the county, Lone Tree, Pass around, things of that nature, that brings in not only more crime, but also brings in Democrat voters who now align with the culture of our community. As county commissioner, how are you going to do that? What will you do?
Yeah, thanks. Again, being part since 1983, I've been a part of that. People came to Park to get away from single-family housing was on parcels of acreage was the norm. As Denver grew, people started coming out. So, big picture, a lot of the high-density housing, the multi-family housing that you guys have was zoned a long time ago. I remember one of the contentious issues we had in Stroh Ranch was something that the citizens said, you must stop this, but it was zoned in 1984, well before my time on town council. And to me, it was an approved project after, and the developer did not complete the project, so somebody picked up that project and completed it. So there are things like that have been put in place for a long time. What we have done in part, what we've tried to do is we've tried to highly encourage people who have existing multi-family housing zoning to not do that. Two examples. We had a parcel that was in the county. We were told that there was going to be an application for an apartment complex to put in just south of Coles, the Caraway transmission line. And to me, what we did is since it was an enclave, we involuntarily brought that in and controlled that zone. We also had the ability, there's a parcel that still has not been developed by Costco. He had a multi-family zoning. We said, if we build the road next to you, will you make that retail commercial? And the answer was yes. So we have done things to try to take away the zoning that was already in place before.
All right, same opportunity, John. Ask Jake a question.
Yeah, again, this is kind of an awkward situation. I've talked to Jake, or I've been next to Jake, or talking in front of him, or back of him, so, I think we kind of know what's each other, but, I kind of, I didn't really want to get too in the weeds here, but, to me, the question I had on day one, what is the most important item to council to tackle as county commission, and how would you resolve?
Great question. Day one, it's important for me to get involved and meet all the county employees because they're the ones that are doing all the hard work. They're the ones that do all the work, they're the ones in the trenches. It's important to earn their trust as a new person coming in. I understand how leadership works. If you're coming through a business, you're a new leader, people are going to be very skeptical about what you're going to do. They may figure you're going to come in and totally cut everything, and you figure, what's this guy going to do? My job at risk. So it's important that you build relationships with the employees that are doing such a great job maintaining our county, making sure it's efficient. Outside of that, I look forward to working with the other commissioners and meetings to ensure that the business at hand is done. I also, like I said earlier, want to make sure to open up public comment again, or some sort of version of that.
Now we have some questions from the audience. Honestly, a vast majority of them were about Szechuan, so we've kind of covered that a little bit. Let me ask this, we'll start with you, John. In what ways would the current direction of the BOCC change with your membership?
Wow. Well, I think that any one individual going onto the board of three, I would hope that the other two city commissioners would be open to having conversations about how we can potentially better the board, better our community. I think that would be important to just have those conversations. In the past, talking to other county commissioners, that has happened. It's like, hey, what are your thoughts, John? So I think that would be important to establish that type of communication. Do you want our thoughts in terms of things that
It's your answer, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, no, I mean, to me, I would certainly hope that we would have a workable situation on the board. I see no reason why I'm not doing this. Again, I've worked with Commissioner Teal before.
Same question for you, Jake.
What was it?
In what ways would the current direction of the DOCC change with your membership?
Well, I think the current board of county commissioners over the last few years have done a lot of good things. I mean, in COVID, they decided to pull out of the Tri-County Health Department because they were locking us down. We don't know now that it was all just smaller. So they've done a lot of good things. They've got a really good budget as well. I'll continue to work with them on that and look for other efficiencies. I think it's important as me as a new person coming in, I'll have fresh eyes. I'll see things that they haven't seen. As an example, I'm very big, my kids being in school-age children, on continuing to increase our SRO, school resource officers, in all public schools, both private, public charter, and the public neighborhood schools. Currently, as an example, my son in school, that SRO in Parker shares with 7 other schools. So, God forbid there's an incident in Douglas County. Minutes matter, not only minutes, but seconds matter. So that'll be a big part of one of the main things that I look forward to improving upon. What they've already done, but continue to improve upon it, because that's important. In a time when there's a lot of uncertainty, we need to make sure we're not only protecting our kids, but protecting our teachers and facilitators to ensure they have a safe learning environment.
All right, Jake, we'll start with you as we continue to alternate here. This is a question from the audience about the budget. DUDCO is facing budget challenges over the past several years. Do you think the board has a tax revenue problem or a spending priority problem? What would be your budget priorities and where would you cut spending?
As a private sector guy, I never want to increase taxes. I will come in and I will look for efficiencies, ensuring we are reducing our expenses, ensuring that we are living within our means. As I mentioned with the last question, I'll come in with fresh eyes. I'll be able to see things that maybe the current board has seen or maybe hasn't acted on, and be able to go in there and try to make things efficient. That's what I do day-to-day in the private sector, and I look forward to running the county like I run a business.
John, same question for you regarding the budget and challenges that are before the board and where do you think there might be spending cuts that are necessary and where there will be spending priorities?
Yeah, quite honestly, I'm unclear of that. And to me, in my fiscal, responsible, operational way, I would like to implement tools. Much like we did at the time of Parker. We have a policy of having 25% reserve within the general fund in the town of Parker. What that does is it allows us to ensure that we have money just in case. Some call it a rainy day fund, I call it in case the time shift, you have the ability to react. We in Parker also have a long-term plan, a 10-year projection. We asked for that because, quite honestly, we want to see if there was additional taxes that we were collecting that we could potentially reduce or eliminate. That has been a very effective tool in the town of Parker. It puts the onus, quite honestly, on staff, and it lets staff know, hey, here's the challenges. They run projections through the model, and they come back to us. The goal is from now until your intent has to be positive. And I don't know if we have that type of clarity in the county. To me, I am concerned. I believe the economy is a little toppy right now. Home valuations have leveled off. We're doing, I believe, an okay job, but to me, my concern is individuals, the people who serve this community by working in the county are very important. Where we have projects and programs that are taking money from the general fund, that if you continue down that path and you lock it in, that may create challenges on how you take care of our salaries and wages. To me, that would be a big concern.
Here's a question. We are moving forward in Colorado with another form of rail that no one, that's a commentary, sorry, Charles. What are your thoughts on Front Range Rail? Would you vote for Douglas County to be an active participant in this, or would you hold back? John.
Okay, thank you. So on the Dr. Cobb board, I'm part of the nominating committee. We had the ability to appoint 3 individuals on the Dr. Cobb board to Front Range Passenger Rail. It's one of those things that have to be involved. We have an individual, Deb Mulvey, who is our representative within Douglas County on the Front Range Passenger Rail. From a project standpoint, not supportive of it. It does not feel like it is something that we can gain for here in Douglas County. There will be, from what I understand, a ballot question forthcoming. We had a meeting on it, I think, within the past week, within the Douglas County Transportation Sub-Regional meeting that this whole Dr. Connell offshoot. What we were told is that the only people who would be impacted in Douglas County would be those who have the train stubs. To me, from what we were told in that meeting, Sterling Branch is the only train stop in Douglas County. So the recommendation of the board would be for the taxing district to only include the Sterling Branch CAD. Those are the people who indicated they wanted that stop. So in previous conversations with Councilmember Mulvey, I indicated if there's a way to greatly reduce or eliminate any kind of taxing district for the citizens of Douglas County, I think that's a good thing. And it sounds like she was successful.
Jake, what are your thoughts on Front Range Passenger Rail?
Yeah, I saw they're calling it COCO. I saw that today. That's an interesting name. I do not support it. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think Douglas County wants it. It's just another one of those things that the state is pushing on us. It's going to raise our taxes, whether it's just Sterling Branch or the whole county. All they're doing is they're taking trains and putting them on the existing tracks. They have to then pull to the side to allow the freight liners to right away. It's not going to make a difference. In Douglas County, we don't need it. We don't want it. It's just going to raise costs on our end. So why would we proceed with it? As county commissioner, I will fight to ensure we're not raising taxes on the citizens when it's something that they do not want.
We reached the point of the program for closing statements from each of the two candidates. And Jake, we'll start with you.
I'm going to go ahead and stand up. I just feel it's more necessary. First and foremost, Mandy, thank you for doing this. Douglas County Citizenry and Douglas County Public Works, thank you for putting this on. I think Bockenfeld and John Diak, this is a great opportunity. It's exciting to see the participation. At Assembly, probably half the crowd of the delegates were new people going to Assembly. I think that's a great thing because as Republicans, we need to get off the couch. We saw that with the school board election last year. Elections have consequences. That said, they're coming for Douglas County, as I mentioned in my opening. The state of Colorado, even powers to be outside of the state, I believe. They're coming for Colorado. We need a strong leader who's going to stand up against fight for Douglas County. And that's why I'm standing here today. As I mentioned at the beginning, I'm running not only for my family, but for yours as well. We need someone that's going to be able to stand up and do what's right for the people. As County Commissioner, I look forward to working with all of you and listening to you and getting your input. And I also want to make sure that we continue to make sure Douglas County remains the North Star, a state that has lost its way. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you to my wife. I want to call her out because she has taken on so much while I've been on the campaign trail. As anyone who's run for elected office, as I'm sure, John, you can attest to this with your family, the spouse has taken on so much while we're out meeting with everyone and talking. So thank you, honey. Boys, thank you for being here as well. Thank you all for coming and participating in this process. Thank you.
Now you can talk.
I'm comfortable, so I'm just going to keep on sticking. So, again, thank you, everybody. Again, what Jake said is absolutely right. The family has sacrificed greatly, especially here in the last 14 years. And I truly appreciate all the efforts and support over that time. It's truly an honor to serve citizens in the town of Parker, and it will be a tremendous honor to serve citizens in this county. To me, my closing statements, what I can offer to me, my motto is experience matters. I've been here 43 years as a resident. I have 36 in the business community, 14 as an elected official. Within the time as my elected officials, I served on leadership on regional boards. To me, it was a great honor for me to have the ability for my peers to say, we really want you to lead us. And to me, to get to that point takes a lot of time, and it takes a lot of effort, and it takes a lot of compromise. And compromise without compromising the value, and getting to the point where you can finances, my experience with the public-private sector, I'm a financial planner. I help people with their individual plans, and also run businesses, multi-million-dollar businesses. I've been project manager of multi-million-dollar projects here with the village. Handling a $600 million budget is nothing new to me. With the partner, we've walked over $200 million to $250. Land use, I've got over 30 years of experience in land use, 16 with a professional land surveying company that I own, and invited 14 so I understand the process and criteria. I also bring private sector experience, relationship results, and commitment to the county. I'm ready. What has gotten me here is mentorship from previous county commissioners. They told me quite honestly, here's the pathway. Show up and do the work. You bring back federal tax dollars and cut expenses. You become a leader, all while working in the best interest of the citizens, respecting private property rights and upholding the oath of office. One of the foundational mentors I had was one of the Commissioner Jack Hubbard. One of his things were, if you're not at the table, you're not at the table. Well, I've been at the table for 14 years, and I look forward to being at the table for 8 more years. You're not Commissioner, and just trying to ask me to go. Thank you so much.
You guys did a fantastic job. Thank you so much to Douglas County Citizen, to the Douglas County Republican Women. And if you have not been to a DCC event, or you're not signed up, or you're not liking their Facebook page, they do things like this all the time because they want you to be a civically engaged citizen. So when you go to the ballot box, you can make an informed decision based on solid information and not vitriol or mailers or any Facebook ads that you might see. So thank you all for taking time out of your life tonight, and please spread the word, and we'll hopefully see you at an event. We also need a big fat favor. If you can pick up your chairs and move them over that side on those things, that would be wonderful. So thank you so much.